Welcome to Shit Creek Survivors, where we share stories of resilience and tools for resilience. Now, this week, we're actually going to be having an on-the-air buddy check. Dennis and I are going to open up, check on one another, make sure we're doing okay, and give a real example of what that's supposed to look like. A buddy check is a great time for you to get off your chest things that have been bothering you, and it's also a great time to be a great listener and listen to somebody as they get stuff off their chest. We're also going to be learning about what a silversmith does and why he uses the hottest part of the fire to refine the silver. Here we go. All right, everybody. We got a buddy check going on today. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing okay, buddy.
Yeah, I haven't seen
Where's
you
my
in a
check?
bit.
Give me
Where's
my
your
check.
We're not making any money yet.
Lots of zeros on there. Where's my half of the 45 cents we've made so far on YouTube?
Oh my goodness. They don't even pay you till you've made or $5. So we gotta wait on
Damn.
gotta wait on that. I'm about to link the account to it because I'm sure we got lots of funds coming in soon. But I thought today we'd just like a buddy check, and I wanted to share a couple things with you. But what a buddy check really is me asking you, are you okay?
I am right now.
Yeah.
I think I missed talking to you last week. I think these chats helped me more than I realized. I mean, I feel like I realized that they helped me some, but I think they helped me a lot more than I realized.
Cool.
Yeah, I've had a couple dark days. I feel like it's hard to control it sometimes with when the darkness kind of hits you out of left field. And I found myself a lot of times going, like asking God, like, hey, I'm trying to do the right things here. Why do bad things keep happening around me? Like just miscommunication with friends or family, a few things with some property stuff around the house, or different things that just break and don't work right and cost
So,
money to fix, and then
yeah.
you're like, oh, come on, what is going on with all of this? And so why is this happening to me? And I found myself one time going, I don't deserve to suffer like this. I'm doing
That,
good. But
that's
where does that come from? I mean, Jesus definitely suffered a lot more than I am, so maybe I should just shut up and pull up the work boots and get back to work, right?
or are you just being a human and
I
kind
think
of
that's what it really comes down to. But in the moment, it's so hard.
yeah.
Like we talked about this a little bit offline the other day, and that's why I'm glad we're doing it online right now, because I want to kind of go through this part of it again. We talk about buddy checks with each other. And in the heat of the battle, if you will, in the moment when you're having all like some negative thoughts or dark thoughts, I don't think of calling anybody really. I just I get angry because I can control things out of anger. We've talked about that before. It gives you the illusion of some control.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and also gives you the illusion of kind of not thinking about the problem, I guess. So it kind of gives you the illusion of like escape from whatever you were just feeling.
I'm
But the
very
next day,
familiar.
I called you to tell you about it, and I feel like that was the perfect buddy check time to talk about it. I wasn't in the same place in my head. I wasn't had the same thoughts going through. That reminds me, I have another analogy I had thought of during all of this that came out. I let Julie know, I was trying to explain to her about the channels going through. When you're having all these problems and you're in a dark place, you're thinking about all kinds of things.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before. It's like never-ending channels, just keep going and going and going.
Yep.
Well, one time I just stopped letting the filters shut my mouth out. I just let it all out. So I just started talking about everything I was thinking about as we're driving through the car. And it got overwhelming for her because I was like, oh, look at that color. Look at that sign. It's blue. I like the color blue. It reminds me of this. Oh, hey, there's a wave runner for sale over there. We want to get wave runners. We should stop and look at that. Oh, this boat's pretty cool. I've been thinking we really need to cut the grass. Oh, we should do that. Whatever it is. I'm going through it all. And it literally took me like 10 minutes to get back to a topic that she had asked me a question about, to answer the question that she had originally asked me. And I go, I think we just discovered my loop is about 10 minutes long of channels. And if I'm changing channels every 10 seconds, it's a lot of channels. But
Yeah.
I finally got back around to it and answered her question.
Well, there you go. You finally got back around to it, and you noticed what was going on. That's
Yeah.
interesting. You know, the yeah.
Well, it hasn't been easy. I mean, for the longest time, I did notice you just were an asshole the next day or something, or you weren't polite to somebody you should have been polite to, or
Right.
snap at the wife a little bit or something when you shouldn't snap at the wife and something, or a friend or kids or Dogs.
I get it. And you know what's weird is like when we talked last week, I was going through a little bit. You know what I mean? We kind of like were able to buddy check one another. I was like, actually, I got this going on and blah, 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 blah. And I was kind of freaking out. It's actually really funny because I was really
Yeah.
freaking out in the morning. I had my coffee like I usually do. I usually take, I take medication in the morning, so it's very sedating. So almost to come out of it, I drink a good amount of caffeine. I'll have like 3 cups of coffee, sometimes 2 cups of coffee and an espresso. So I'm ready to go. I go into the gym, I'm working out, I'm feeling good. You know what I mean? I'm feeling right. And I start getting kind of like aggressive, but I feel like I can control it because I'm in the gym, and I'm boom, boom, boom. But I'm bringing up memories of things that I've heard people have said. I'm bringing up memories of actions people have taken, from like the department to friends to whatever it may is. And I just start freaking out about it. And I was able to talk to you about it. And although, first off, I think we need to make a clarification. When you are going through something and you need to talk to somebody, you don't have to really put a filter on. Just let it flow. Because the
Yeah.
truth is, once I let it flow and I started hearing the things I was saying and getting a response from you, like
Mhm.
being like, I get where you're coming from. Have you thought about this? Which are like kind ways of putting little guardrails on and being like, yeah, I guess, boom, boom, boom. I haven't thought about what I was worrying about since we talked. And when we talked the 2 days prior to that, it was basically I had a fire burning inside me. And I just kept running over it and fucking stoking it. And what's weird about me is like when I get angry like that, I almost like if anger and taking action, like totally going ballistic where the sun, I try to fly as close to it as possible without burning my wings. But I always burn my wings. I'm always singed afterwards. And Kate's like, and what was funny is after all that, it's 11 o'clock. I'm texting you some stuff and, kind of like not aggressive, but, I'm still agitated. I'm still activated. And then around 1 o'clock, it clicked in my mind. I don't remember taking my medicine this morning.
Ah.
And I went and checked. I hadn't taken my medicine. I went to Kate and I go, turns out I didn't take my medicine today. She goes, that makes sense. I texted you. I forgot to take my medicine. It's actually not the first time, but it's been a while since I've done it. It's such a normal thing. I mean, it's just built into my routine that
That's good.
I don't know. It's not really like I contemplate. It's literally I have a pill tray with all of them preloaded, so I don't have to like be like, maybe I won't take that today. It's just like grab them, go. And with my medicine, it's not meant to like actually like sedate me like you would want to go like comatose. It's meant to be stable enough to process my PTSD and my emotions and all that kind of stuff. That way I can get better compared to just like going
Yeah.
comatose.
But without that leveling and stabilizing, sounds like you will jump up a notch
Yeah.
without it like that and not really even notice it. So that's good that you noticed that too in your moment there of a little darkness
It's
hitting you.
so it's so
What do we
funny
learn
though.
from this though? We're learning that we're human. We all
Yeah.
okay. So you can start believing in God, or you can start believing something good, or a higher power, or the chair next to you because it's making better decisions than you. You're still going to have problems. You're still going to have challenges. You're still going to have trials and tribulations. And as I would argue that in some cases, especially if you start walking a religious path, you're going to start getting even pressed full harder. And sometimes it feels like it's the devil tempting you, or evil tempting you, or whatever. But as you said, there was a great analogy about the silversmith. Maybe it's God testing you or pushing you. But I
or,
want you
or
to
or refining you.
refining you. That's a yeah. I don't want to steal your thunder from
No, I
that
like
story,
it.
but
So
it
so
leads into it because I think it's not necessarily always evil pushing you and making you feel better and
yeah.
pressuring you.
Yeah, I agree.
It can be, you make diamonds out of coals with pressure,
Yeah.
and then there's the silver one that you have. Go ahead, I'll let you do it.
And you make great players in athletics with great coaches. You know what I mean? There are other influences that are good that push you and make you better, although it's an uncomfortable situation. And
Yeah. Well,
I
my
was
drill sergeant sure didn't feel like like a heavenly influence sometimes in basic training. I can tell you that much. But
the,
they were trying to. build
Right.
me up in a positive way. It just didn't feel like it at the time.
Yeah, break you and build you. So the story I heard was um, it was a group of individuals who were kind of doing Bible study, and I guess there's a story in the Bible about a silversmith and a silversmith having to basically refine silver, put it under high heat, so that it would refine. And they thought that was an interesting thing. What is that
Yeah.
meant to say? Is
God
that
is like a silversmith to us.
yeah, is that what is meant to say?
Right.
So one of them got interested enough to contact a silversmith
Right.
and asked if they could come observe for a day. They didn't tell him anything about kind of what the study had been or anything like that. And one of them showed up. Silversmith walked him through everything. He grabbed the first piece of silver and he explained that in order to work with the silver, he has to put it in the hottest part of the fire, not the outsides, not kind of get it warm, put it in the hottest part of the fire, because in the hottest part, it'll burn off all the bad stuff, all the things that aren't, the pure silver. She
The
was like,
impurities.
yeah. She's like, that's interesting. She kind
Sin
of,
is sometimes considered an impurity in the Bible too. So
yeah.
it's
So she
funny
kind of,
how it connects, but
and she thought, and then she was watching the guy, working with the silver. He never took his eye off it. And so she thought, well, is there any time where you could walk away from it? Like just set it in the fire and then come back after 5 minutes when it's hit a certain temperature. And he's like, no, I can't. Not only can I not walk away from this, I can't take my eye off it. And she's like, why? She's like, and he goes, because if I heat it too long, I will damage it and I will never be able to turn it back to what it was. And she's like, oh, well, how do you know when to pull it out of the fire? What's the perfect time? And he said, that's easy when I can see my image in it.
I love it.
And I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh. And it really kind of turned things. It's like what we were just talking about. What if the things we're going through aren't damaging us? They're actually
Just taking out
creating.
the impurities from us.
Yeah, they're creating something that is not the person you are in that moment. It's going to transition you in a way that's meant to get you closer, meant to get you
Yeah.
more refined if you let it. But a lot of times I think what you're saying is all these things happen and you always think it's a negative. You always think it's coming from a bad place, that you don't deserve it, that it's not the time, all this kinds of stuff. But turns out in life, and I've learned this a lot, when God's ready to make a move in your life, he doesn't ask for your permission. Things
Right.
just
And if
start
you think you
happening.
haven't hit rock bottom yet, just wait. God will get you there.
Yeah, he'll get you there and then
Because
he'll build
you
you.
need to get there to break to build back up. I mean, there's truth to it too.
Yeah.
It got me thinking a lot about like the different cycles through life and stuff. Now I'm
Mhm.
older. I'm in my 50s. I think I can look back and see a few of the cycles. I know there's a few more. I hope. Uh, but I just had this image. I think I was watching the was his name Michael, the drug dealer that turned a preacher that you released today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Michael. I was watching his, and he talked about losing his father, and we both lost our fathers, and I lost my father and my stepdad recently too. So I really associate with what he was saying. And you brought up something that I know we've both mentioned before, like losing somebody like that, your father, your stepfather, stuff like that, really close to you. It's like losing your first superhero.
Yeah.
Man, that's what got me thinking. Like when we're born, our parents looked down on us and saw us in a hospital bed with tubes coming out of arms and noses and nurses around and beeps and bops on machines and things. And at that moment it changes your life. And you don't have to be the parent. You can be an aunt, you can be an uncle, you could be a cousin, you could
Yeah.
be a really good friend, and you see their kid, your best friend's kid being born, and you still see all those hoses and stuff. You're still going to be renewed in a sense, reborn
Yeah.
in a sense. And I want to be the best uncle this kid could ever have. I want, all those things. You're
Yeah.
not going to be. You're going to fail. To how bad you fail, and when you realize you failed, and when you can make amends, and how you make amends, and if you can make amends. But we'll go down those later.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to like when before my dad died, I was in the hospital with him, and he had hoses coming out of all the places, and the beeps were going off, and the nurses, and the smells, and the oxygen, and it was kind of renewing then too, a real birth in a sense inside of me somewhere. Like now I have to be a different person. I no longer have a father on earth
Yeah.
here to I don't have a stepfather here on earth to go ask for advice or anything. I'm going to have to only be able to talk to buddies now or be that person for somebody else. So my life cycle just changes in a second, just
Mhm.
like that. And it's taken me 4 years now to even come close to realizing this.
Yeah.
So there's no timetable on there. It's not something that can happen overnight. It could happen 4 years. It could happen 8 years. I don't know, but it changes you. And
Yeah.
Michael was saying that yesterday when I was watching it, and you said it before, and I've said it, and I've known it. And but it doesn't have to be a bad thing. We weren't meant to be here though forever.
Right.
We were meant to be here for finite time. We know that. Whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in any religion or not, whether you believe in reincarnate, whatever it is, you are here for finite. And there's this joke I used to always say: life is a sexually transmitted disease with a 100% mortality rate.
Yeah. That is really funny.
It's
It makes
true.
sense. Yeah, it's true.
Um, uh, so what is our purpose here? We talk about it all the time. I think our purpose here is to get us ready for the next step.
Yeah.
And we can say we know, or we can say we're living this life to get us ready for the next step, the next place. And
Yeah.
we can pretend like we know all the answers. We can pretend like God it does already know how the outcome is, and maybe that is true. Maybe it is like a chess game between, God and Satan or something. And we're pawns, and it just feels like a game to them, which is how I used to kind of feel. That's kind of one of the things that turned me away from the church for a while, because I was like a lot of people, how could God allow suffering in the world? How could God allow this baby to suffer if
Right.
he's really there? And I get that so much in my heart, but if this isn't our final destination, our final destination is the next step, which is home, as you said you felt when you got there. I believe that. I know I want to believe that. Um, well, then you don't know all their other rules. We can't put our human time restraints on the rules because we don't know them.
Yeah.
The truth is, once time stops existing, the minute your eyes close for the last time, that might be the time that we all get to come around and find Jesus right then. If
Hmm.
you really find them, it probably let you in then too,
Yeah.
even if you did something wrong to get there, like take your own life or something.
Yeah.
We just don't know all those rules. So all we can do is control what we control and go on forward. But man, is it hard to do sometimes,
Yeah.
especially when you feel like you just can't. Like you got a case of, like in golf, you got a case of the yips. like like
Yeah.
when I at the tournament when I was playing, I had to walk away from it because I put 6 balls in the creek, one right after another, out of the tee box. And I was like, oh my God, I'm way outside of my limit here. And I would have been fine looking at the numbers at the end of the match. If I would have just bounced back and gone through, I still might not have finished dead last.
Right.
So what's like you just got to keep going. And I didn't. I left, but I learned the lesson from that.
Yeah, and
And I was
you've gotten better at telling that story too, where I can tell you've learned from it. Where you're
yeah.
like, that was crazy, that was silly, I can't believe it happened, but I'm
Yeah,
glad
the
it
first
did.
time I was almost embarrassed because
Th-
here I am not practicing what I preach.
and then
But
you
the
realize
truth
how
is,
many.
you don't. You
Yeah,
don't. I
and
think
how.
I think if you say that's if anybody ever says something like they have it in the past, they have to other people, they have to me too in the past. Like I'm a Christian, and then I do something bad, and somebody else watching it goes, "Well, that wasn't very Christian like." And I get it, but you're not getting.
Yeah,
You're not okay. It is Christian like. I'm going to make mistakes. The only person that didn't make mistakes is Christ.
you
It's
know
going to
what's
be bad. Life is going to be bad. You're
you,
going to
you
have challenges and trials. You're going to hurt. You're going to bleed, but you're never going to hurt and bleed as much as Jesus Christ did.
yeah
So
you
you're always got to find your spot in between those two spots and realize that, it can always be worse. You can always do better. Learn, move forward, and get ready for the next step.
right, absolutely. Um, yeah. What something we talked about? I think we talked about it in that kind of buddy check when we checked on one another. But
Yeah.
I had a realization because when you start down the road of Christianity, when you start kind of like just dabbling and then becomes a little bit more, it becomes a little bit more, you come to a stage when you realize that you will never be perfect,
Yeah.
right?
And being
And
okay with it.
well, that's like that comes, but the shocking thing is like, oh my God, if you see it as a game, you can't win. You know what I mean? You're like, I can't do anything
Oh
here.
yeah, if we see it, no, I'm not. I've seen it before. Like other people probably still see it. That God is just playing a game, and we're just chess pieces.
Right, right.
And in
Um,
some ways, that could still be true. And in a positive way, we just have to think about it that way. So we can't just keep looking at the blue side of the ball. We got to go look at the white side of the ball. We got to realize from the top angle that it's blue and white on both sides. It's like those perspectives, that globe of perspectives. You got to take it on all of these angles. If it was a chess game between God and Satan, and it was for good reasons, then maybe the suffering child was already ready to go home and did that just so you, the parent, would hit your rock bottom, so you would find Jesus, and then you could go be home, and you can meet your son there and have eternity with them. I
yeah.
mean, like that's a really, I know that's such a bad one because that's such
No,
a,
no, no, no. It's not. It's not.
but it's so polarizing. It's
And
polarizing. It's very polarizing.
well,
And
it's
I
just
don't mean to
one.
be insensitive, and I hope nobody takes it that way because I'm not trying to be insensitive.
No,
Just trying to put like a point of perspective that I'm trying to get to in my head.
yeah, we're just discussing it. What I was going to say is like something interesting I found out about this road with Christ. It's like eventually you figure out like you're never going to be free of sin. You know what I mean? You're never going to be perfect, right? That can be liberating in the end, but it can also be intimidating when you first realize it. But one of the things I found myself questioning recently, um, and for a long time we were just like we were police officers.
Yeah,
We were police officers. That's what we were. If someone asks you, "Who are you?" I'm a police officer.
it was our
Um,
purpose and our
after
identity.
after I got hurt, people would say, "Who are you?" I'd say, "I'm an injured police officer."
Yeah.
When people would ask me after I wasn't a police officer anymore, like 5 years down the road, "What are you?" I'm an injured police officer. Like that was what I identified as, and I didn't realize like I I found myself realizing recently not having an identity crisis, but thinking, okay, that's what I was, but who am I now?
Mhm.
Right? And it's
Because
a hard thing.
we always struggle with having a purpose. And when you got injured and you weren't working, and after I retired and well left, I haven't really technically retired yet, but that's the purpose of it. And then this next job's been taking forever to get to. I've been on the wait list for 2 years. All that time, I've been struggling with my purpose. So if I
Yeah.
was really retired for the rest of my life, I would have to be like, am I going to be a golfer now? Am I going to be a podcaster now? What is it? But it doesn't have to be that narrow. Go ahead. Sorry, I kind of interrupted you.
No, I was going to say, like in those titles that we put there, I'm a police officer, I'm a podcaster, those things can be taken, in the drop of a dime, just whatever. So who are you without it? That was
Yeah.
the question I was looking at myself in the mirror and saying, like, who am I without it? And I knew when I was growing up, I had this kind of like, because I had been told by, your parents and whoever, you're a good boy and, God loves you. And that was my identity for a long time growing up. But I wasn't able to kind of like really say with full confidence when I was having this little identity crisis, am I a good man?
Yeah. Golf.
Because I want to be able to identify as a good man. Or if I could, be a good Christian man. And I don't know why I'm not allowed to be that in my mind. I was like, what do I have to do to get there? What's going to take me to being a good man? What's going to
What
take
is
me
a good man?
to being a good Christian man? Exactly. So then it's like breaking down, well, what is a good man? What is a good Christian man? How do you get there? And I started thinking, well, if you're trying to be a better man, and if you're trying to be a better Christian, then I think you can identify as I'm a Christian man or I'm a good man because my intent always is to be good. I'm not going to be great all the time. I know I've got my own baggage that comes with me, but I am trying to do my best with what I got. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at the shadows. I'm looking at the places that I try to hide and figuring out what that's all about. You know what I mean? But you're never going to get all the way to the point where you're like, well, I'm fully clean and now I can stand before God. It's
Yeah.
it's it,
Well,
it
you will, because that price has already been paid.
exactly. But
But I
like
get what you're saying too.
for my
On your own
simple
your
mind,
own merits, your own beliefs. Well, your belief in Jesus will save you, but your own merits. Like, I was a good person. I did good deeds. I gave money to charity. I took care of this and that and this and that. Those aren't going to get you there. And that used to be one of the standards in a lot of earlier religions before Jesus. But and that's where they all connect together, and that's what gets confusing to people, because they think like the religions are all completely different and founded differently. They all evolved, and then things happened, and they became new, and Jesus replaced the old blood covenant, and is now the new blood covenant. And he's supposed to come back. His return is going to signify the end of the times, and then Judgment Day, and then after Judgment Day. Which, think about Judgment Day. I remember thinking of this when I was in like Bible school and like junior high range, like asking my mom, like, what are you going to do? What do you do in heaven? He goes, well, the first thing in Judgment Day is we're gonna like watch everybody's lives, and it's gonna be like binge watching your favorite series or something. Think of how long that's gonna take to watch everybody's lives, if time existed in that portal or with that reality. So there's all that. So this isn't like it's just gonna
yeah,
be. I mean, there's just things we haven't ever thought about before that
I don't want
are
to see it.
realities that we're gonna figure out, that we're gonna experience in some way or another, or not, or just it's just blackness, I guess, if that's what you. And that's another thought I've always had. Like, maybe whatever you think's going to happen does happen.
Yeah,
But don't listen to me, because I used to think that I was put here on Earth as the only human being, and everybody else was aliens just watching me to see how human beings react.
I like it. I like it.
And
That's a funny.
that's like a 13-year-old story I wrote one time in a I forget what it was, but no. What I was going to say also is, have you watched Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso.
It's Jason Sudeikis. He's from Kansas City. He's been in a lot of different rom-com type stuff. You'd recognize if you saw him.
Probably. Why? What
He's a,
about
he's
him?
a he's a college football coach, and he gets hired to go to
Oh
England.
yeah.
Soccer.
I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know who you're talking about. He was on
Well, there's this
SNL.
there's this part where one of the PR girls comes up to Coach Lasso and says something like, "What would you rather be, a lion or a panda?" I think it was lion and panda. And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, lion, king of the jungle." And then Rebecca, the boss, comes out, boss lady. Okay, and she's a nice lady, but at first she's bad because she hired Ted Lasso to ruin the soccer team,
Right.
because the soccer team was her husband's, that she got in the divorce after he cheated on her. So now she just wanted to ruin it. So that's why she
Oh,
hired
okay.
this American. It's kind of like Major League Baseball movie meets
Uh,
England soccer, but with a lot better writing and a little bit more and a little funnier. Anyway, so she's like, "Oh, a panda. They're beautiful and they're vicious, you know." And then the star football player walks out, Jamie, and he goes, "Jamie, what would you rather be, a panda or a lion?" And Jamie goes, "Neither, coach. Why would I want to be either? I want to be me." And Coach Lasso goes, "Jason, I don't think you realize how mentally healthy that answer actually is." Why would I be anything else other than me, coach? I'm me.
Yeah. What a
That's
healthy
the
answer.
identity. That's the identity we really kind of need to seek out,
Yeah.
I think, to be happy with yourself.
Yeah.
That is what it is. You're in a lot more control of your happiness than you realize.
Yeah. And perspective is
It's a great place to start.
yeah. Yeah. If you can shift your perspective, you can shift your reality.
Yeah.
If you see yourself as a victim and you're able to see yourself, usher yourself into a place where you're like, no, I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. And
Yeah.
then that can just shift everything. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, I've
But
heard
even
there's.
still, even knowing that, I can still have a dark night like last week.
Oh
You
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah. That's part of the territory. And I
it is.
think we think that, there's a couple things you were talking about, like church. I don't know why it came up to me, but like for a person who's on the outside of the church, especially after I got hurt and I was just so volatile, I had such a problem with going to church. I would basically see everyone who was going as like the Pharisees. You know what I mean? I'm like, you guys know nothing. You're just putting money in the plate and fucking saying you're good people. You're not good people. I know who you know what I mean? I was so toxic and everything like that. But I was just like, you don't represent God. You don't tell me, you know what I mean? Like all this kinds of stuff. And I think that might be a natural reaction, anyone looking in, because you see this group of people
You
who
think you're better than me? kind of stuff.
Kind of like that, but I think there's also a little bit of like like sorrow, if you will, like, fine, I won't be part of your group if you don't want me to be. You know what I mean? Because you almost feel inside like, oh, fine.
You don't belong.
It would be for me, oh, you're confirming what I thought about myself anyway. So here's two middle fingers. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but the
yeah,
truth is they probably are like, hey, look, there's a new person. They got kind of a nice smile. Why are they frowning all of a sudden? Where are they going? Come back. You would have had fun here. Who
yeah.
knows?
And
I was talking to oh, go ahead. Meanwhile,
no, meanwhile, I'm just raging. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm literally thinking this is all a setup. This is fake, all this kind of stuff. I'm in the house of God. And yeah, it took me a very, very long time to be able to swallow the pill. Not only that I could go, but that I was worthy too. Like,
Right. Well, first off, one thing you got to get in your mind too with all of this, a church actually is just a building,
mhm,
right? It doesn't
yeah,
really become a holy place until it gets inhabited with people that are trying to, ascend to a better understanding of why they're here, a better understanding of their relationship with their creator, um, and things like that. I mean, it's not. I mean, it can be social. There's nothing wrong with that. I just told my youngest son this one. He broke up with a girlfriend recently. He told me about it, so I called him right away and was asking how he's feeling. A little down, but he's working out and trying to bounce back and all those things. He's like, "How do you meet girls?" I was like, "I have no idea. I wouldn't even begin to know." I said, "But keep looking around the gym. I guess that wouldn't be a bad place because they like working out." And I go, and I know you don't go to church very often, but I don't know, go to a church. At
mhm,
least you're going to find somebody that's trying to be better. And he goes, well, but I don't really believe. So wouldn't that be like heresy? And I'm like, why? God doesn't care if you believe in him or not. If you're going in there for the right reasons to find somebody who's good hearted and wants to take care of you, that's all he
right,
wants to.
yeah,
So get in the door. He don't care how you get in there. He just wants you to get in there so you can feel the love and the goodness. And then you can leave and still be hateful and spiteful and stuff like you could be spinning that way and victimizing. But eventually you're going to realize that was you that
yeah,
was having the hard time. And it wasn't the people that were trying to do good.
yeah,
Now, here's the thing: there are going to be people that do bad. They're humans too, and some of them do so bad that you don't want to be associated with church at all. I get it,
mhm.
but that doesn't mean you should just give up on you know your life completely.
I- right. And what I had to do recently, because we felt the pull to go to church, you know what I mean? But we didn't know why we should go to church.
Okay.
So, and a lot of it for my barriers was people. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to have to vet myself. I don't want to do any of that. Like, I would like to sneak in the door and get in the very back and hide. You know what I mean? Like,
And
but
a lot
I'm
of people, a lot of churches broadcast their services, so you could watch from YouTube or from your home, and you can go away from that, and you can still search for good
right.
feelings, good vibes, good communion.
But what I've found about being in the building, even if I don't know or like, even if I didn't like all the people around me, I think there might be power to a group of individuals praising at the same time that I have no kind of radar for or anything like that. Like, who knows when a bunch of
No,
people
you
come
did. You
together
just said
and
you felt it when you walked in there, didn't you?
yeah, it kind of like it
There's
grabs you.
something different here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Like,
not the building. It's not the brick and the mortars of the building,
yeah.
right? It's the people inside that are saying the things and they're, you know, saying loving things for the reasons of saying loving things,
Or
not
just,
for the reason of your money, not to find business partners, not to find a date necessarily. I get it. It is what it is, Eric. But you get it there, you'll find it. You'll find it. You'll find your place in it.
one of the first things that blows you away is kind of like the music. And I don't know why that like did it for me, but you walk in there, it's like boom, it's going, you know what I mean? And I don't know the songs, but their songs are like praise. I'm starting to kind of pick up on a couple and like all this kinds of stuff, but you feel sort of stirred as it's happening. And again, this is truly me. I don't want to meet anybody. Like that's my thing. I don't like going out of the house. I talked to my therapist about this on Tuesday, and literally, like I explained to her. So on Sunday, uh, Kate's like, hey, I want to go out to grab something to eat. I remember she wanted to go to Jersey Mike's. We never go out to eat on Sundays. It's usually Friday or Saturday. It's very regimented. I'm ready for it. I'm like getting cranked up for during the week. She's like, I want to go out. And I'm like, okay, let's go to Jersey Mike's. You've been talking about it. She's like, that's awesome. But as soon as I said Jersey Mike's,
Mhm.
I knew she was going to add Old Navy onto it.
Because it's right next to it.
Because it's right next door. So I had to like, right as I said it, I'm like, well, yeah, I'll go to Jersey Mike's, but give me a second on Old Navy. And to her, it's like, this makes no sense. Like they're next door to one another. But I have to get like mentally prepared. So I had to like verbally explain that to my therapist. And it's like, okay, where are we going? What's the environment like? What are the people going to be like there? How many times am I going to have to talk to people? If I do get into any sort of situation, what am I going to do? If I get into a fight, you know, what am I going to do in this situation? I'm in Old Navy. I'm looking around like I'm like imagining fights. It's just, and it's just,
You're channel
and
surfing.
it
You're
makes
going
no
through all
sense.
the.
But I'm just like imagining fights. And I was like, sometimes the best part, although it's kind of a bummer, is when I pull into the driveway and I know nothing happened. Like that's really like, that's a success, you know, like in my mind. Because there was a little bit of time where like going outside, I was getting into situations that were not great. Like my attitude wasn't great. I was interacting with people. My pain was being poured
You're
onto
overly
people.
guarded, and you're overly
Yeah.
anxious, and you're overthinking.
Yeah.
You're over traumatized. You were traumatized. I mean, come on, it is what it is.
And so it took
What
me
is
a
it? What?
bit.
I
And
would say, what was
so,
that? Trauma is like if somebody pisses in your glass of water, and then they start adding sugar in it. The piss taste never goes out just because you keep adding sugar in it. So I don't care how sweet your life gets. Until you deal with the trauma, you're still gonna taste that piss in your water.
I like it. Where'd you get that?
I forget. I actually heard it from something. I know. I hopefully I saved it on Facebook, so I give them props. I'm not trying to steal anything from anybody.
That's really good. That's really
Yeah.
good.
No matter
But
how
yeah,
sweet your life gets, you can't keep adding sugar on top of piss water. But you
and you
finally have gotten there. I mean, you're getting there. We're all still getting there. We're still dealing with things, but
yeah,
there's less
yeah,
piss in the water. It's starting to taste sweet again.
yeah. And it's nice to live like honestly, you know, instead of being like church is stupid like I used to do,
Mhm.
being like I get nervous when I go into big places. You know what I mean? Like there's
You're owning that.
freedom.
Yeah, you're owning
You're
the
like,
fear.
yeah. And so you can like figure that out. So one of my fears that developed, and we talked about it before, was I had suddenly a fear of heights after I got shot. Didn't make sense to me. Obviously, I didn't get thrown off a building or anything like that, but like even looking up at a high building would freak me out. So we went on a trip, and while we were in London, I asked to go to the tallest building in the city, and it's called the Shard. And so we went all the way up there. I was able, after a while, to go up to the glass. Soon after that, I was able to joke around, jump around, play, smack the glass, you know, lean against the glass
Nope.
to the point at the end, I'm going pee in the bathroom, and the wall next to me is all glass. So I'm basically like peeing open, but I'm on
Nope.
like the whatever floor. But I was able to do it. Next week, we're going to be going to New York, and we are going to go, you know, the classic Empire State Building. And I'm sure some of those feelings are going to come back up, but I am going to record it as I'm up there and
Okay.
kind of like go through what I might be feeling and see how far I can go. I'm sounding brave right now, but those feelings when they come back, they're real. It feels like you're going to throw yourself off the building for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this makes no sense. But I really couldn't like trust myself. But yeah, it's amazing what can
Like your
happen.
balance
But
is so far off. Now there is something to this with trauma, and I can't remember off the top of my head, so I'll try to do some research on it, so I'll have it ready for the next time. There is something to do with there is some connection to your equilibrium and PTSD,
really,
or maybe it's just to the TBI. And
might be,
I would say you
or
have
both.
TBI as well. Yeah, I would say you have TBI too because I mean you got shot in the
Well,
face.
well, there's that.
My TBI is from a blast or a blast radius,
Yeah.
but it has something to do. It fucks up your equilibrium because I can't get on my roof. I haven't been able to get on my roof since we moved here, except well the first year I did. But I mean, like even to change out gutters, I can barely get up there. I get other people to do it
Yeah.
because I
I
feel like
haven't.
even on the ladder doing this out of the gutter, I still feel like the ladder is just going to somehow fall backwards. even
Yeah.
though I have it like almost parallel to the ground.
It's gonna slide out on you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
Yeah,
you just
and
kick it right there.
it's a weird thing, but then facing it seems to help, and I guess that's the same thing with like anything that you're afraid of. If you face it, it ends up being way less of a
Right.
thing than
But
it
it's not
actually
easy to do.
was.
I mean,
No,
okay, so we're not trying to oversimplify things. The answer is simple. You face
Mm,
your fears, but it's not easy.
right. And
It's
there's
not an
different ways
easy
to do it.
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's different ways to do it. 2 plus 2 equals 4, but so does 3 plus 1. So does
Yep.
5 minus 1.
Yep.
So does 0 plus 4. So does
Yeah.
2 times 2. There's several ways to get to 4. So like when you want to get to 4, same thing with praying to get to 4 with God, be open to the idea that you don't know how you're going to get to 4.
100. Well said. That is a huge nugget right there. Like you
And
don't
it's a simple one,
know
but it's not
the journey.
easy.
No, no, because you lose control. You lose. Yeah. That's awesome. That was very cool. Um, Something I recently learned about resilient people, if I could put it in here really quick,
Perfect time. My
is
favorite place.
is they actually, I heard this individual talking about it, instead of seeing life on like a fixed time scale or like events in life as a fixed thing, they actually see life on a intermixed time scale. And I'll do my best to explain that, but the way it was presented was, if you see a failure as a final result, you
Okay.
will feel negative effects. But if you view your life on a intermixed time scale, that means everything is working with everything. So what that means is, if two students in the same class, one gets an F, that person might have the reaction, kind of like me, in a lot of situations, I'm sure, is like, oh, shoot, I failed. There's no way I'm going to get a good grade in the class, which means I'm not going to get a good grade this semester, or, my GPA is going to be messed up, which means this year is going to be screwed up, which means 4 years from now when I graduate, I'm not going to have, blah, blah, blah. Everything is ruined. Like they see it as like life is over. This opportunity is gone. While another person will get the F on the test and be like, well, that sucks. That's never happening again. I am never going to let that happen again. This is going to be such a opportunity to learn, feel the feelings I'm feeling, and make sure in the future I use it to my advantage. So that
Yep. And
means
that's
that,
also like you. You're like that too.
me.
You've been like that. Yeah, you have. You said it. You said it in yesterday's recording, actually. If
I'm doing
somebody
my,
gets if somebody gets the drop on you as a police officer by hiding in the corner when you're going in a training situation or a real life situation, that is never going to happen again.
right. Yeah, absolutely.
So you
Yeah. And
have it in you to be just that same positive. You just need
yeah,
to apply it to situations that you're less comfortable with than you were as a police officer.
yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're both that way. Everybody is. Everybody's a little bit of both. Everybody will think that that negative is the final answer, and they will react a little negatively to it until they consciously make themselves think about it positively in some way or look for the silver lining. And again, simple answer, not easy to actually do. And then a lot of people will be like, I mean, what did I tell you when I called you the other day with our buddy Check about it's our purpose. I'm not a police officer anymore. I don't need to be telling people how to drive on the road. I hate people. You driven to St. Louis when you came to visit? I don't know. Is this
Yep.
everywhere now, or is it just around St. Louis and Missouri?
You
Everybody
should come
drives in the
to
left
Atlanta.
lane.
Oh,
Everybody
in the
drives in the
left
left
lane.
lane. No, come on, it's for passing. Get over. No, so like I'll pass him on the right and get over in the front of him, and I'll turn on my right blinker. Why am I doing this?
Yeah,
Why?
don't do that.
It's not my responsibility.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
It's so stupid. But I just do it.
I get where you're coming from. That is so funny. That is so funny because you like still have that like in you, and you're
Yeah,
just,
like you're doing something wrong. I'm gonna correct you because I used to be
yeah,
a police officer for 30 years. I corrected people. I'd stop and correct them. It's not my
yeah.
place anymore. It's not my purpose anymore. I'm not. I just need to do my thing. If I
So
pass
yeah,
them on the right, I pass them on the right. Just keep driving. And
So
don't
my
interact with
trouble,
them. Don't try to teach them. Go ahead. Sorry.
so along that right now, exactly. So like if I'm not a police officer, I have to decide who I am. And that
No, you're
doesn't mean
Cameron. You don't have to decide who you are. You're Cameron. You're awesome. You're rocking it. Just be Cameron. That's who you are.
well, I want to be a good man. You know what I mean?
You're
Like
helping people.
that's what I'm saying. Like I just want to
Yeah.
so I instead of being like I'm a police officer, I'm a teacher, I'm a lawyer or something like that,
Yeah.
I can just be a man. I can just be a Christian
Just
man
Cameron. Just be Cameron.
and that's enough.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's enough. As long as I know that that's
Yes. Enough.
enough,
That's perfect. That's exactly what it's supposed to be.
then it doesn't matter. But my problem is for some reason I let the world I imagine what the world sees when they see me. And I don't say great things and it affects me. So I have to decide if I'm not a police officer and I'm not a loser, I'm trying not to be,
You know,
then
I'll
then
do
I can
that.
be a
I'll do that.
then I believe I'm allowed to say, as long as I'm trying, I'm a good man. And I believe anyone out there could say
Right.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So another middle school story that correlates with this one, Bible story kind of thing. I remember having like a conscious thought, 12, 13 years old, that as long as I believe in Jesus, that means I can go do whatever I want. And I'll just say, "Oh, I'm sorry." No, it
Mm.
doesn't work that way. You have
Yeah,
to
that
really mean it,
yeah,
right? So
that's
it's not
the
like, oh, I'm just gonna live how my life if I want to, and then on my deathbed I'll say, "Hey, Jesus, I believe in you. Forgive me. Thank you. My doorway in." That's not gonna work on you because your intent all along was to break that rule, to cut that corner. So you got to put in the work. You got to put in. I mean, yeah, you got to put in the work. That's the thing. All of these things. As a young kid practicing at the on the putting green, I was practicing for the league on Tuesday night. That she had the tees in like intermittently far away from the putting. She's putting, but she's only like 12, 13, 15 maybe. I don't know. She's high school, junior high. Look at this little routine you got going on. She's like, yeah, my coach is real hard ass, wants me to practice all this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, good. You got to put in the work. It doesn't come to you. Talent alone is not going to get you there. You got to put in the work.
right.
You got to put in the work on the golf course. You got to put in the work in yourself.
Mhm.
And, we became police officers because we wanted to help people.
Yeah,
We can still help people without being police officers.
100%. 100%. And I've struggled with am I enough and like all that kind of stuff. So like purpose, what's my purpose and like all that kind of stuff. But I think this is really cool that we've kind of come to
Yeah.
circle on this that like you just need to be you. You know, you just got to be
You
you.
are
And you,
enough. That's exactly. Am I enough? No, you're not enough. Actually, Jesus is. That's why Jesus came and died for us. Because we're not enough. All of our good
right,
acts is not going to get us to heaven.
right.
But you realize that and you're trying
Yeah,
and you really mean it with
yeah,
all your heart. I'm trying.
yeah. I think even if you're on the wrong road or something like that, if you're just trying, you're
You'll
trying.
get there.
You know what I mean? Like if
You've mishit a golf shot every once in a while up on the on the tee box. Hit your
you mean
driver hits the ball.
70% of the time or what
Right.
85% of the time?
Right. And sometimes you scald it and it's really bad, or it hits a tree and comes right back at you. But oftentimes I found that every once in a while, if I hit the ball just off the top, or if I hit the club hits the ground or before the ball, or I top it really bad and the ball hits right after the tee, it still goes forward.
Yeah,
And
forward
a lot of
progress.
times that forward progress is enough for my second shot to still be a good shot and save the hole.
That's such a funny thing that you say that. I so I made myself play my own ball the last time I played with Kate, and I hit a couple that barely made it past the red tees, you know, on the drive. And in that moment, you can really kind of like collapse in and be like, this hole's fucked, you know, like I might as well pick up. It's good, you know, blah, 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 blah. But if you just chill out and be like, no matter what I'm doing, I'm going from this point to that point, I'm just going to hit this ball along the way.
I know the listening
And
audience can't see my head going yes and up and down. Yes, yes, yes. I am saying yes, yes, yes. If you can't see me, that's exactly right. Keep going, Cameron.
then you end up getting like, it doesn't matter what the score is, but your score ends up not being that bad. You know what I mean? Like you just have to hit it from the red tee to the fairway, and then from the fairway to the middle of the fair. Whatever it is, it's forward progress,
Mhm.
and then you're getting to that final place that everyone's going to anyways. You just got there a different way, and
I
I
played a
mean,
scramble yesterday, and I hit a really beautiful 5 wood, but it landed on the back of the green.
mm,
A second shot landed on the back. I was, oh shoot, I overhit it. I should have went to my 4 iron or something. I should have down a club or something. He goes, and he hit his, and it rolled up to the front of the green. He goes, no, I think we're going to take yours. Wait till we get up there. You'll see. Now I have only played the course a few times, and he played it all the time. We get up there, and my ball was in a better position. We ended up using my ball, and at first I hit it. I thought I messed it up.
yeah. I think that's a prerequisite for
I
golf, though.
changed my
It's
perspective. I looked at it from another side.
yeah,
Hello, these lessons are lessons for a reason.
yeah,
Listen to them. They're there.
man. It's hard even when you get taught the lesson to even remember it.
Oh,
You know what
heck
I
yeah.
mean?
Heck
It's
yeah.
like you think you got it. I turned the light off. But yeah, you think you like got it, and then like how am I having problems with my faith after I died and actually got caught by heaven and got to hold my grandma's hand in heaven? Like,
Because you're
do
back
you
here.
get what I'm saying? Like, do what?
You're back here. You're back here. Now you're exposed to all this again.
I know, but shouldn't I be strong enough to just be like, this happened. I have everything I need. I've got more than anyone's ever like around me has. You know what I mean? I've literally fucking like felt the love, saw the golden road, all that kind of stuff. I probably shouldn't be cussing as I'm saying this, but it's like, how do I then have you know what I mean? Like, why don't I just pull that out all the time in those moments where I'm going through the fire? And I don't call a friend right away. I try to handle it on my own. I try to deal with it, make it like a package, so then maybe later I can present it to someone and
Yeah,
see how they feel I did, compared to, and honestly, I there is a difference between like you're losing your mind but you're working through it, you're trying to do your thing, and then there's another thing where you're losing your mind and you're actually considering giving up. In that case, you call right away. You
absolutely.
say,
And yeah, oh, absolutely.
I am a danger to myself, I need to talk to somebody. Do you call then? That person, if they
Yeah,
love
that
you,
has
is
to
going to
be a
drop.
bell going off in your head.
Yeah,
That
so
has to be a bell going off in your head. And it's not for everybody though. So I mean, like, that's not being sensitive to people that are, I mean, like, experiencing things really fresh and recently. Just in case any of them actually listen. Um, this is for somebody right now, tonight, is going to get dark in their head and their thoughts, and they'll face their demons, and they'll be struggling, and they're going to think, all of my loved ones, my family members, all of that stuff, even my friends, they'll all be better off without me, so I'm going to do it. That needs to be a bell going off in your head.
yeah,
It's okay to be depressed. It's okay to be like, oh, this sucks. It's okay to fight those demons and all that stuff. But once the bell goes off of, I'm going to go get the gun, I'm going to go take the pills, I'm going to go drop off the bridge, bills need to go off in your head. That's when it's wrong. That's abnormal. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed
right,
to be learning from this somehow. And what I don't know. I don't know the answers to it other than that. I can't
right.
explain. I can guess. I can guess, but I don't know. But the bills need to go off, and you can't do that. You cannot put a permanent answer to a temporary problem.
Right. And I've had that exact thought. The world, my family, my loved ones, my wife, even my dog will be better off without me. I've had those moments. And then I've come back to it within 24 hours and been like, wow, my head, I don't know what was going on. It's possible chemicals were messed up in that moment. It's possible, I was overwhelmed by a lot of things, not just this one thing, that I'm isolating and saying is like unfair. Like your mind is, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous place. They say it in AA. You're for
It's
an
an
alcoholic.
amazing place.
It's an
Our
amazing
minds
place,
are amazing.
but
Our
at
minds are
sometimes you
so
can
amazing that you can manifest positivity or you can manifest negativity. That's how amazing our minds are.
exactly. And they say in AA, when you're new to AA, an alcoholic alone in his mind can sometimes be a dangerous place,
Oh,
because
I bet.
the decisions that have led
Say the
you
same
to
thing
here
about some veterans, probably, and some
have been
first
made by
responders,
that mind.
probably.
Yeah. So it's just like,
Well,
you
I
know,
got one more thing. Back to you were saying, like, how do I let this happen to me when I've bend to the other side? How do I do that? How do I let this get back to me where I get to a dark spot before? I can't just pull that card out and feel good. And Cameron, I don't know the exact answer to that, brother, but I'll tell you. Have you seen? I mean, you could see. You got a little nephew, right? You've been babysitting your
Yep.
nephew when you came to St. Louis. How old is he?
Yeah, nephew and niece. I got a 2-year-old nephew, Mac, and I've got a new niece, Rennie.
Okay, and Rennie's the newer one, right?
Yep.
Even the 2-year old right now. How pure innocent are their laughs and their sense of humor, and they're closer to home than we are right now.
Yeah.
They're closer to the image of the Silversmith
Yep. Yep.
purification than we are. You were, and now you're back in the meat suit and in the grind and in the struggle and in the chess game, however you want to put it. So you're further away from it. You're back in the mud and then back in the blood. You're where the metal meets the meat. You're fighting the fight now. You're being tested. You're being tempered. It's either Satan testing you or God tempering you, right?
Right.
And getting all the impurities out. That's the heat. That's the negative.
Yeah.
That's the bad parts that we
Yeah.
feel. And that's part of what we're here for. We're learning how to be ready to go back home.
Yeah.
So don't beat yourself up too bad
Beautifully
about it. You're
said.
normal. You're normal. You're away from it for a while.
No, yeah, and
But this child,
I
a
just
2-year old's innocent laugh. If you can't believe in a supreme creator by seeing little 6-month olds giggle and laugh, I don't know what to tell
you
you, brother.
you can actually see that kid feeling love, and so it's like,
Pure,
and it's each time,
unadulterated, unperverted love, completely pure love.
like when you literally like say like I love you to that kid, I'll be like, hey Matt, I love you, and he'll like
Yeah.
have almost like a spasm with a smile, and you're like, this is so beautiful. And like the truth is what he gives me is worth so much. You know what I mean? I'm so blessed that God put that in my life and I got to see Mac. Mac spelled the other way is Cam, right? it's
Oh yeah.
also it's also my dad's nickname. When he was overseas, they'd call him Mac
Uh,
because his last name was Mackay, so they would call him Mac, and that was kind of his nickname, or Scotty since he was Scottish. But yeah, they kind of snuck that in that name, and it's really cool. So
so
his actual name is McCallan.
okay.
Is
Well,
yeah,
it works. It
McCallan.
works. It all works. It's great, and
I
it
like
brings you that joy. So remember that joy when you're having a negativity. Again,
the other
simple
thing is
answer.
looking at the yeah is again, it's like when you look at the baby, babies look like little monkeys. Like no joke, they're like not even there. They have like
Well, we are
three
primates.
faces. I know, but they have like three faces. One is like they're looking off in space and you're trying to make eye contact. Then they're staring at you, and then all of a sudden they go, they like make a random face or a smile. And you're like, this is the best thing ever. Let me give it back before I break it.
Can you screenshot a couple of those faces you made and put them on our shirts?
Um, yeah, speaking of which, everybody, we are
Uh,
dabbling in merchandise now. Shit Creek Survivors, and we're gonna get a couple shirts, put them on,
yeah.
figure out kind of like the best way to do it, and have family and friends wearing them, and get the word out. And we've got a lot of people making a lot of great comments. I encourage anyone listening to check out any episodes that they've missed on social media. Our main page is SHT, because they wouldn't let me put SH exclamation T. So it's SHT Creek Survivors. And that's where you'll see clips on a daily basis, the key points from each episode from that week that I try to pull out and kind of make really digestible for anybody on the fly. They can grab it and not really be behind on
That's
anything.
that's the what site is that again? Is that on
That's
the main website?
that's well, that's
Because
Facebook. And
Facebook.
then the site, yeah, that's Facebook. That's where we do most of our public interactions. The
But
website is
YouTube still
there.
has an explanation mark.
Yes, yeah. YouTube still has the exclamation
Just
mark. I
clarifying. Just
apologize.
clarifying for everybody.
So clarifying for YouTube, it is the name of the show, SH exclamation T, Creek Survivors, Shit Creek Survivors. And then on Facebook, the handle they forced us to have is SHT without the exclamation point, Creek Survivors. So check it
We'll
out. There's a lot of good
let's put
stuff.
in a call for Mark Zuckerberg to see if he can get that to change.
Yes, I think he should. I've tried it. I'd even tried spaces in between them. I tried, just different stuff, but I'm staying true to the name. I got to. I think everyone understands it when they see it.
Yeah.
I went to go get my new plates today for Georgia, and as soon as I walked in, there's like 5 cops standing there, and I just pull out a stack of cards, and I'm like, "Here you guys go." I'm a former police officer. This is about PTSD. If you need any help, you call me. And they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I kind of explained to them who I was. They're like, "No shit." And I'm like, "Yeah." And we're doing a podcast. It's coming out. It's out. There's 30 episodes. We're kind of getting everything really hammered down, getting the logo really refined, all kinds of good stuff. So we got
I
lots
like
of
that
cool
new one
stuff
you
coming.
sent.
Yeah. So make sure if you're out there, subscribe. Okay. Subscribe, like the videos, and share with people you think would make a positive
Even if
impact
you
on.
don't think, if they get offended, Sal, you thought they might know somebody who could use it, that would be your cover. But send it to everybody. Send it to people. You never know. They
Yeah.
could watch something and something will click for them. And as long as something positive comes out, man, that's what we want. Share it, share it, share it.
I think one of the best comments we've ever had, we just got on the episode that I released with Michael, who explained how he went from being a cocaine dealer here in Atlanta to going to seminary school. His mom jumped on there, and I'm not sure if I can get to it. Let me see.
Yeah, people can find it if you can't find it, but it's great that people are responding that way and giving out positive feedbacks. And it feels like Michael felt good sharing his story, and it was a good story. I listened to it yesterday on my way to play golf.
So imagine you're Michael. You went through what you went through. You felt the way you did about yourself and all that kind of stuff. You came on the show. You used the podium to kind of let people know what happened, what's happening now, and what's going to happen, and how he's changed his life for the better. And his mom gets on here and says, "This is my son, Mike Joyner. God truly has blessed him. One proud mama. He is such a blessing." That's beautiful. You know what I mean? That's just beautiful, and that means everything. So,
props, mama.
And he called me, and he's like, "I think this is such a great thing that you guys are doing. If my church can help you, if I can help you, you just let me know." You know what I mean? So we're helping people. We're moving and shaking. If you got any ideas of people who should come on and share their crazy story, that's great too. Get a hold of us. And besides that, buddy, I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Love you too, brother. Peace out.
Hit that subscribe button so you can get the latest and greatest from Shit Creek Survivors. Subscribe, like, share, all the above.